welcome to my new video, and this time it's the unboxing of the Eagle Eye Director 2. I got many requests from people from my channel who always love the unboxing, especially because people want to know cable length, plug-in, buttons, what they mean, how to do firmware updates and everything, and some specifics. So this is why this time I have here the Eagle Eye Director 2. So let me show you what is in the box. So here you go. What is in the Eagle Eye Director 2 box? So we have here two beautiful Eagle Eye 12x zoom cameras, which are part of the kit. Square connectors to go inside the Eagle Eye Director 2. We got the cable which goes from the Eagle Eye Director 2 to the codec. We got a power supply. We got the Euro connector. Here is a kit for the acoustic echo cancellation. So this means you can have a much better face detection, speaker detection when you have this enabled. We'll talk about that later. And we got here the bracket, which also comes with the Director 2. And here on the back you can also hook it up to a wall to make sure it's tightly connected on top of the screen. This shows the whole kit which is part of the box. So now let me show you the building of the Director 2. So building the Eagle Eye Director 2 is just following all the guidelines. Make sure you really follow them, because I have done several demos now, and when the camera is not good connected or cable not well hooked up, you get in all kinds of strange scenarios. So let me walk you through, and this video should really help you to get it running correctly. So first of all, get the brackets. So you see here these brackets which are part of the kit. So these brackets are used under the camera. So here you got the back of the camera here with the connector, just to show you how this is all connected. So here you see this bracket. So you got two of them. You can take off here the tape. Now I got some glue here. So what you need to do is we'll put this inside that bracket to make sure that the connector is well connected. So put this in on the side, then make sure you press it. Now we take the corner connector, which brings the camera connector into a corner. You put this inside this bracket. So take this one here and make sure you put this one here. Okay, so now you need an easy tool to just make sure it's well connected. Okay, so we got this one finished. Make sure this is really connected inside the connector there below. Then we go to the second camera, we do the same thing, take off the tape and put this one right in here. Make sure you got it all down below and make sure this is tight. And this is just to guide the connector just inside the other connector. So again, we take the long side and we put this one in and make sure it really just presses through. It really fits here in the connector. Okay, and then we tie it up with the screws. So here we got the Eagle Eye Director cameras ready with the brackets and the connectors. So now we can move on to the next one, and that is the base, the Eagle Eye Director 2, the base. So what do we need to do? We got several connectors. We have the camera connector to the codec. We have here the top antenna, and we got the power supply. So let me turn the Director 2 base around. So here you see the Eagle Eye Director 2 on the back. This is the camera output, which will go into the group series. Here you got 3 ports which will mostly be used in combination. Here you got the USB port, which will go into your Surface Hub or with your Skype Room System V2. This can be a Polycom, the Crestron dock or the Logitech dock. That doesn't matter. But what is interesting, if you want to do acoustic echo cancellation, make sure you go here with your dock. The HDMI goes in here, and use this one as output to the screen. So then the audio will be filtered out to get a better speaker tracker function in the room. So here it's able to detect the audio which comes from the far end, so that the tracker will be much better able to track the speaker. There's another HDMI port here. This is for software upgrades, but this can also be done via the group series, of course. And more to the right side, we got here Ethernet. This is more for the future use to pair up different Eagle Eye directors. Here you got, for example, your mini jack. This is audio input also. So in case you have a Surface Hub, you could use here the audio input. Again, if you want to filter that out and use acoustic echo cancellation, give here the audio from the far end and filter that out to get a better speaker track function in the room. And here you got the power input. Okay, now we go back to the front. So the first thing we need to do is hook up the antenna. And I think they made this connector very well. So this connector also comes with the Eagle Director 2. You just click it in like this. So here you have 2 screws. So when that is secure, grab the 2 cameras and put them into the base station. And make sure that it's all well connected into the base station. Because as you can see here, this happens a lot that people didn't make the connection very well in the base station. And what you will see when it's not well connected, you will get a fast blinking red light. So make sure this is correctly inserted into the base station. So as soon as the camera is correctly connected, you should get a solid blue light. So when we got the base station and the camera set up, we can continue. So we have here, for example, the bracket, which you can hook up to the back to make sure it's all tightly connected. And there's a cable, camera cable, which goes from Director 2 onto the group series, which we have right here. But the group series, of course, is a separate product, but just to show you how it's all connected. So with the Eagle Director 2, we got some acoustic echo cancellation cables. So this means you can have a better speaker track function in the room, because people from the other end will talk, and the output from the speakers will also go into the room. So to make sure that the Director 2 is filtering out that audio from the far end, you hook up this one into the audio jack output from the group series. This one goes into the back of the Director 2, so you hooked it up as an input, so the Director 2 knows that it doesn't have to do the speaker track on the far end talking. And this one, of course, will go to your amplifier or to your speakers. It's not a requirement to do the acoustic echo cancellation, but of course it will give you a better speaker track function in the room. Now let me show you here as an example to hook up, for example, the Eagle Eye Director 2 onto my PC. We grab the USB cable and we take this one onto the Director 2. So here you go into the back and you plug in the USB cable, very straightforward. So the other end is just like the MSR camera. You see here the cable, so you just put this one here into the PC. Alright, so now what we need to do is just select it. So we go here into, for example, the Skype for Business client. We go to Eagle Eye Director Video, and now you should be able to get the camera. So you see it's trying to get the speaker track function, and this is all automatically enabled as soon as you turn it on. Do the same thing with the Skype Room System V2. Just use the USB cable into the dock, and the same for the Surface Hub. Also just hook in the USB cable. Now if you go into bigger rooms, you need to look at the acoustic echo cancellation piece, because you will have speakers in the room where the audio will come out from the far end talking. So now you need to learn the Eagle Director 2 what audio is from the local people to do the speaker tracking, and what is the audio from the far end, because it doesn't need to do the tracking on the far end audio. Now to do that, Polycom has created some optional kits. For example, with the MSR dock over the Skype Room System V2, there is a kit. And that kit has the USB cable, the 5 meter of length, the 2.0 cable, which will go from a dock onto the Eagle Director on the screen. There's a 5 meter of cable length also from the dock into the Eagle Director 2 of the HDMI input, which I showed you earlier. And this one will go out of the Director 2 and go into the screen. And this way, the Eagle Director 2 is able to learn the audio from the far end. And of course, the remote comes with the kit. So you got the tracker to be able to turn on and off. You can even do some PTZ if you want to do some camera control in the room, or zoom onto a specific whiteboard. So there are some extra functions which you can do with the remote. And this is all available, by the way, from version 1.1 of the Director. Now you can do the same thing with the Surface Hub. Just get the audio out from the Surface Hub using probably the mini jack, and use that in the audio input of the Director 2. So as long as the Director 2 is just able to identify the audio from the far end, it's able to do the acoustic echo cancellation. This was my video about Eagle Eye Director 2 using the USB cable of the different devices. Hopefully it was helpful.